Good morning, Daniella Johnson, our Liberal candidate. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming to the Bradford Board of Trade Meet the Candidates event for the 2021 federal election. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. Okay, so I will give you 5 minutes for your opening statement and let us know what you're all about.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Daniella Johnson, and I'm proud to be your federal Liberal candidate for York Simcoe. First, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Bradford Board of Trade for organizing and hosting this virtual Meet the Candidates opportunity for our community. And of course, I'd like to thank each of you who are tuning in and listening to each of our messages today. When it comes to who I am, I'm a 32-year-old wife, sister, and soon-to-be mother expecting my first child. I'm motivated by the strong values that my grandparents and parents instilled in me at a very young age. Values that include hard work, working to give back to the community, and standing up for those who are underrepresented, ignored, or last on the list. Starting my career in government, I've held positions at both the municipal and provincial levels, working as a caseworker in social services, and supporting the nonprofit organizations in Ontario and across Canada. I've worked in collaboration with community leaders, businesses, and government to ensure the successful integration of new Canadians into the community. And I recently left my job as a consultant in the nonprofit sector because I didn't think it was fair to wait until the end of my career or until I was comfortable when we're clearly at a point when we need more effective leadership at the decision-making tables now. As a young person, as a woman, as an expectant mother, I understand and have experienced many of the difficulties we're facing when it comes to getting into the housing market or looking for affordable, quality childcare. I've also spoken to families, single parents, farmers, and small business owners in the region, and I hear you. I'm running to be your Liberal member of Parliament because you deserve effective representation. You deserve someone who will fight for you in Ottawa and someone with a seat at the table who will actually be able to get things done. When I got into politics, it was never about me. I'm here to continue doing what I'm most passionate about, and that means fighting to keep you safe and healthy by working to finish the fight against COVID-19, making sure we have better healthcare, affordable housing and childcare, and working to address climate change now so we can ensure a better future for our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We now have 8 questions that have been submitted to us from members of the public in Bradford, West Gwillimbury. And the first question is here.
Okay, so national universal dental care and pharmaceutical programs have been proposed for those without insurance. Where do you stand on the issue? And explain your decision and how you would fund such a program. So when it comes to healthcare, this is very important. We all need access to healthcare in one way or another. Pharmaceutical, dental programs are also very important. And when we look back at the past, 19 months as we've been, dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, 8 out of every $10 spent in response to the pandemic came from our Liberal government. So our goal has always been to keep communities safe and healthy. For myself, as a champion for healthcare, for mental health and wellness, I'm proud that we have a plan that prioritizes healthcare and ensuring that we have supports available to our community members. When it comes to mental health in particular, I'm proud that we have a plan for supporting the mental health crisis that we're currently in, and that has only been made worse because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Coming out of the pandemic, we will be supporting the elimination of health system wait lists that have worsened, ensuring that we have more doctors, ensuring that we have better care for seniors, families, and young people. And so, we will continue to offer those programs, and I will certainly be a voice and listen and champion ensuring that we're able to provide those supports that are needed to best support our individuals and community members.
Thank you so much. Our next question is actually related to that one, and it's regarding mental health.
Right. So the need for mental health care has increased dramatically over the pandemic. High costs and incredibly long wait times are deterrents to those needing care. Where do you stand on a national program to support Canadians? So this is a great question. And as I've mentioned, mental health is something that's very important. As we know, many Canadians, all individuals, are touched by mental health in one way or another. For myself, going back to university, when I was at the University of Western Ontario, I championed mental health for students and was appointed the first mental health issues commissioner for the university. I've since gone on to support organizations who are doing great work and providing supports needed to promote mental health, address the stigma of mental health, and offer supports to individuals who needs support in this area. And so for me, this is very important. I have close family members, friends who struggle with mental illness. And so, continuing to be a champion for mental health and making sure that those supports are available is something that is a priority and something that means a lot. When it comes to the supports that we're going to have, our federal government will fund a national, simple 3-digit suicide line, which will be available because we need supports at any time of the day. Again, supporting our healthcare system to be able to provide additional mental health supports. These are all things that we're going to do because we are not facing a mental health crisis. We are in a mental health crisis, and this has only been made worse because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's very important that we continue to have supports and we continue to speak about mental health, and then we continue to take action and make sure that we're there for our community members, and that at the end of the day, as your member of parliament, I will be there for you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Our next question is in regards to a national COVID passport system.
Are you in favor of a national COVID passport system? Please explain your position. So when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic, we want to ensure that every individual is safe, every family is safe and healthy. And we know that vaccines will get Canadians back to work, prevent future lockdowns, and keep our community safe. As your member of parliament, I will continue to support vaccines, and I will support any method, including vaccine passports, that will continue to keep our community safe, because that's our priority for our vulnerable populations, for our seniors. We want to get back to normal, and so I support anything that will help us to get there, including a vaccine passport.
Thank you. Our fourth question is in regards to telecommunications and high rates.
The pandemic highlighted the need for high-speed, reliable, accessible, and affordable telecommunications options. Internet access is an essential service. Canada ranks as the least competitive country in terms of rates. What do you propose to address this? So again, another fantastic question. As I've been knocking doors, as I've been having conversations with individuals in the community, I know that this is a huge issue. Outside of the court, internet access is terrible. I'm proud that our federal Liberal government has announced $60 million to bring fiber optic cables along regional roads. This is extremely important. We look at children, being working from home in terms of school, being back and forth and not being able to have access to internet as parents, as families, as professionals. We need to have access to affordable, reliable internet. And so this broadband issue is significant, and we need to make sure that we have those investments in place, and that is exactly what we'll do. And I will continue to advocate for this because it is so important. Unfortunately, if we look at the Conservative platform, their platform hasn't been costed. So this announcement of support to bring fiber optic cables to regional roads, this investment, this commitment could be gone. And so we need to make sure that we're able to continue with this. Our government, the Liberal government, has put more into broadband than any other government combined. And so I'm committed to this and want to do even more.
Fantastic. Thank you. Our fifth question is in regards to affordable housing.
Affordable housing. What will you do as our federal representative to address the skyrocketing costs of homes and the lack of affordable housing and rental options? So affordable housing, this is a huge issue. Um, I have a younger brother, and I think, how is he going to get into this housing market? How are our young people, families, single parents going to get into this housing market? And so my focus is helping young families, single parents, and seniors have a pathway to own their own home or to downsize, to help renters become owners and save for a down payment faster. Our liberal platform focuses on three specific areas. So being able to unlock home ownership, build more homes, and protect your rights. We will end blind bidding, put a stop to foreign ownership, and really looking at how we can build more affordable housing. And this is what we're committed to doing. And as I shared, when I look at the future of our young people, which is very important, getting into that housing market, it shouldn't be something that you're worried about whether or not I'll be able to do this. As a senior, you shouldn't worry about, am I going to be able to afford a new home to downsize? As a family, as parents, you shouldn't have to worry about your children and what their future is when it comes to affordability. And so this is certainly a priority, and we have a plan, and I will be a champion to make sure that this gets done, especially in our region.
Thank you so much. Our sixth question is in regards to the COVID recovery.
What does your post-COVID recovery look like, and how will it apply to York Simcoe? The past 19 months have been challenging for everyone in one way or another. It's affected us all. When it comes to COVID recovery, uh, when it comes to our economy, I've spoken to small business owners in the region, and I've heard how appreciative they are of the programs that have been in place to support them during the pandemic. And I will continue to advocate, and a Liberal government will continue to support small businesses with programs like the Canada Recovery Hiring Program, ensuring programs that will, ensure, wage subsidies, and making sure that small businesses are able to continue to operate. We're facing a once in a generation crisis, and so our recovery post pandemic is very important. And this is something that we're certainly focused on. This is something that I am focused on, because all of us have been affected in one way or another. And so ensuring, a safe, healthy recovery for everybody in our community, everybody in York Simcoe, is very important, from our small business owners to our farmers, to our families and young people. This is extremely important, and this is exactly what we'll be focused on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Our seventh question is in regard to worker health and safety.
Worker health and safety during the pandemic has been a huge concern. How will you support and encourage workers' right to formally organize? So again, this is a very important topic and issue. A lot of families, workers, individuals have been affected, with the pandemic lockdowns and things such as that. And so being able to, provide supports and ensure that our businesses are able to stay open, that the resources are there to make sure that the right equipment, protective equipment, vaccines, all of those things are available to keep our workers safe and healthy, going forward. And so, our federal Liberal government has really stepped up. But again, our region has been underrepresented. So we need someone with a seat at the table who can, be that voice and who can continue to advocate. Because as I shared, our federal Liberal government has provided 8 out of every $10 that were spent on the pandemic, and so when it comes to our provincial conservative government, they weren't there. And when we look at a federal conservative government, will they be there? We need to make sure that these supports are there. Again, like the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, and making sure that your voices are heard at decision-making tables, so that we can make sure that we are protecting our workers, and that we're providing workplaces that are safe, and protect the health of our workers.
Wonderful, thank you. Our final question is in regards to climate change.
What will you do to address climate change concerns within York Simcoe? So thank you for this question. This is another very important topic, because this is something that we're dealing with now. In my conversations, with our farmers, one thing I heard is that climate change is absolutely real. We can't afford not to acknowledge it, and we know how climate change has, affected our agri-food sector, our farmers, and as I've had these conversations, the number one concern is, crops and yields, and how no one seems to want to be a partner with farmers on climate change. And we know, unfortunately, conservatives will take us back. They want to take us back when it comes to climate change. So when I look at our region, when I look at York Simcoe, this is such an important issue. And as I said, having that opportunity to speak with our farmers has really, brought this forward. Also, as I shared, as an expectant mother, I'm thinking about the future of our children, our young people. We can't afford, under any circumstances, to be aligned with a party that denies climate change or that does not support working to protect our environment. This is something that we need to address now. And so I will continue to listen to, our local community members, our farmers, get feedback, and hear about how we can better support you. And I will also make sure that, I continue to work towards, champion and advocate our goal of net zero emissions by 2050, ending plastic waste, and making the investments that will help us to fight climate change now.
Thank you. Those were our questions from the public. I will now give you a 5-minute window to do your closing statement, and hear from you. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. So at the start of my campaign, I made myself clear. York Simcoe, this is our time. We have a choice. And now that you've heard from each of us as candidates running to represent you as your member of parliament, I urge you to reflect on what we've learned. We've learned that this is our time to choose unbelievable, passionate, smart representation. You deserve better, more effective leadership and representation. We need someone to fight for us and someone who will be effective and deliver on the issues that matter most. You deserve effective representation at the decision-making tables to get things done. And frankly, I am the only candidate with a seat at the table who can ensure that your voice will be heard in Ottawa. I am here, I am committed, and I have the experience we need to get the job done. As a community, as a country, we can't afford to move backward. We can't afford to move backward when it comes to the fight against COVID-19 or the climate crisis. We can't afford to move backward when it comes to healthcare or childcare. And we can't afford to move backward for seniors, workers, or families. I am here today because everybody deserves to have a say, and we should all have a choice in where we're going. We should all have a choice in what our future looks like. As your Liberal member of parliament, I will listen to you, I will fight for you, and I will champion your challenges to make sure that we deliver results where it matters most. And this is why you should vote for me, Daniella Johnson. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Daniela, for joining us today for our Meet the Candidates event for the 2021 federal election. Thank you. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's been great to be here, and again, I appreciate you organizing and hosting this Meet the Candidates event.
Happy to do so. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.